Greetings, fellow Godless Rockers. I am Steve.
And I'm Tally from
Monster on Sunday!
In this week's band vlog, we share our inside knowledge of growing up in the Bible bubble. So stay tuned for episode 16 of
Godless Rockers. So how does believing in something that has zero empirical evidence to support his claims grow to be the majority worldview in our country and beyond? The short answer is childhood indoctrination.
Yep, that's something we both have experienced, and I'm sure most of you watching can relate. Today we'll go more in depth into what it's like to be raised in the Bible bubble, and of course, in true Godless Rocker style, we'll be popping that All right, let's do it. Beginning with myself, I was raised in the Christian tradition, starting out my toddler years dancing in my room to what I thought was the best music on earth, bullfrogs and butterflies.
We've both been born again. That's it, come on. Bullfrogs, butterflies. We've both been born again.
My childhood was filled with Christian music. I still can sing a variety of memorized Christian songs, whether learned in church, during religious holidays, or church productions, Christian summer school, and or learned at Christian summer camp. I even learned a few Christian songs in sign language. Until I was a teenager, I didn't know there was normal music out there in the world, except for the occasional generic Christian song like Deck the Halls or Jingle Bells. All these songs I learned oozed Jesus into my brain. Aside from music, my dad would read the Bible an hour each night before bed, even the scary stories where we'd be crying and too scared to go to sleep. I was told that God is real and taught to fear him, but also to love this fearsome being. And as the late Christopher Hitchens said, that's the essence of sadomasochism, loving that which you fear.
My upbringing was a little bit different. I was brought up as a Mormon. It's definitely a different form of the Bible bubble, since there's the Bible, the Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, Pearl of Great Price, and ongoing revelation from the prophets, all of which to be aware of, to read, to know, and to indoctrinate yourself with. Growing up this way, we went to church every Sunday. Anything like R-rated movies, not allowed. Any sort of anti-Mormon literature, not okay. Of course, music, I can still remember in high school, I was starting to learn to play guitar, and I got Rage Against the Machine from some of my friends, the first album. And they're like, you need to learn this because this is some badass guitar. I was like, okay, so I listened to it, I loved it. Of course, my mom found it. She saw the little lyrics insert, where it was like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And she's like, what is this crap? What are you listening to? This is not allowed in our house. And she threw it out, and I said, I need that back because I don't own that. That's my friend's. I'll have to give it back to him. Well, it needs to leave this house today. And so, of course, I kept it, but I didn't let her know because I thought it was awesome. Anyway, so they definitely put me into the Bible bubble of what I could and couldn't listen to, what I could and couldn't read, what I could and couldn't watch. And that wasn't just them, that was the church. That's how the entire church is run, to keep everybody, all of their members, even them to this day, they don't watch R-rated movies. Sometimes they'll turn off a PG-13 movie if there's something too sexual about it. It's just, that's how the church tries to control them and keep them in the bubble. It's extremely important to mention that for the indoctrinated individual, growing up in the Bible bubble can leave a deep, jagged scar on their lives as they have ongoing suffering that can extend well into adulthood and even for a lifetime.
I was raised with the Board of Education, which was a piece of wood my dad carved into a paddle. It hung on the kitchen wall as a reminder to behave or else. In fact, I'm writing a song for our next record called Fuck God, where I speak out against the harms of religious physical abuse to children. My dad said it didn't hit hard enough, so he drilled holes in it for less wind resistance in his mission to make sure we kids abide by God's rules. Due to my inability to believe in God, combined with the physical and emotional abuse endured as a child, I spent the majority of my 20s drinking heavily and feeling unworthy of being alive. I often wondered if I was just a bad person because I couldn't believe in God. Back then, there wasn't a bolstering atheist community that there is now. It wasn't until around when I met Steve that I realized that I wasn't alone in my non-belief, and that atheists, like everyone else, are worthwhile people, just as worthy of love and compassion as any other person on earth. If there is anything I've learned from my experiences with religion and living life, it is that critical thinking, logic, and reason are massively important skills that must be taught to all human beings. Growing up in the Bible bubble blocks these important life lessons. If we are unable to think critically, then we are unable to ascertain the best action toward creating a better world. But it is one of, if not the most, crucial lacking areas of being raised in the Bible bubble.
And all religions are guilty of this crime. Children are being taught what to think instead of how to think. And as a result, we're creating a world filled with adults who are unable to use logic, reason, and critical thinking, a world filled with people who are biased to the religious ideas that they are raised with, and who are rendered unable to see their ingrained beliefs.
It's not just that they can't see outside their Bible bubble, but most see nothing wrong with forcing their beliefs onto others. As Matt Dillahunty said, our beliefs inform our actions, and these mindsets are taken to the polls to vote religious issues into government policies, which typically adversely affects everyone else.
Because children are being taught what to think and not how to think.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Godless Rockers.
Tune in for next week's episode, Liars for Jesus, where we talk about those who would say anything to save your soul. Check out last week's vlog right here.
And click here to visit our store where you can get music, merch, and more.
Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next Sunday at noon.
We're
Monster on Sunday!
Thanks for joining us on
Godless Rockers.